No. I got it.
Call
It's
whatever
the
you want.
Big Fat American Show. I'm your host, Zach Martin, and we have a special guest with us. We're going to start this series of helping people with hats. How about that? And we're going to share some art. We're going to share some stories. We're going to coach people on how they can reboot themselves if they've had some sort of challenges in life. How do you rebuild? How do you make it in this world? We have a special guest with us, Jane Elissa.
Yes, Jane Elissa.
Elissa, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
How many people mispronounce your last name?
A ton, and they misspell it as well.
Oh, that's not good.
Yes,
We
and
don't
then
like...
we have Jane Elissa Atelier, which is our studio,
I see.
and everybody calls me Miss Atia, Ayaya, whatever.
All right. Well, before we go any further,
Yes.
Let's talk about the current fundraiser that you're doing, or the current charity work that you're doing for the Leukemia Society, right?
Yes, Leukemia Lymphoma Society.
Okay. Tell us what you're doing with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, and then we'll go from that to what we call your rock bio, so you can tell everybody about yourself.
Okay, so I have been working with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society for a long time. When my mother was diagnosed with leukemia in the late 1980s, and then I decided I wanted to try and help. And I'm an artist. I had some celebrity clients, and I decided to put on a fashion show. And we ended up at the Marriott Marquis Hotel after 4 years at the Hilton, where I was lucky enough to be given a shop. And once I had the shop, I put on my benefit once a year and brought in Broadway stars, because my background is a little bit in theater and music. And I was able to bring my art, my clothes that I make and manufacture, into that. And we would honor a shining star who was from the Broadway community, and have all these wonderful, gorgeous soap models, and raise some money for leukemia and cancer research. And we just recently sponsored our 6th researcher, and he is going to be doing research in lymphoma in dogs as well as in humans. So I'm very proud of that.
That's really good, because our pets
Yes.
mean so much to us, and if you're not kind to animals and little kids, you're a creep. You're not. That's not a loving person. So I'm glad to hear that. I've noticed, besides that type of research that you mentioned,
Yes.
even with the CBD craze, with
Yes.
the CBD oils,
Right.
not only for people and they get
Pets.
positive, but pets as well.
Yes.
And I was thinking to myself, why not give it to the pet?
Yeah. There's a friend of mine actually is working with a company for that, and I will, when I get more information about that,
All
I will
right.
give it to you.
Yeah, because we'll have you back many times, because we
you're a
got
sweetheart.
a lot of work to do. We got to sell a lot of hats to help
The
benefit
hats
people
for health, yes,
with leukemia and lymphoma. Now,
as well as all kinds of cancers, heart disease, whatever.
so do you give the hats to patients?
Yes. Okay. So there's 2 things that we do. People really, really like our hats, and so we created a company. A portion of Jane Elissa is now called Hats for Health, and what we do with that is sometimes I give away hats, and other times I make really amazingly unique looking hats. They're all one of a kind, and we sell them, and a percentage of the sale goes into my endowment fund. I have my own endowment fund at the Leukemia Lymphoma Society.
All right. And if somebody wants to get more information on how to donate to your endowment fund, how do they do that?
They can email me at jane@janeelissa.com, or they can, I wrote a book.
Yes,
about
I got the book
journey.
in my hand. Look at over here. We got,
Yes, we got the book.
We have TV.
We have TV. That's wonderful.
This is a great TV set.
I love it. So the book is Diary of a Lollipop in a Peanut Factory, and the title really reflects me. I'm sort of an odd person in a unique world, and I wrote the book because I wanted people to understand that when I first started volunteering, I thought I was giving so much. Oh my God, look at me, I'm helping. But in reality, my helping turned into them helping me. I think I got so much more back than what I gave. And people will argue because I've done a lot. But nonetheless, the book talks about all the celebrities that I've met and who have helped, not just to say hi, but who have helped. And also the journey that I took, getting the store, meeting everyone you could possibly think of, having my hats worn by the president's Obama's children, and
That's cool.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting story. So I I did the Grand Central Holiday Market, and somebody saw my hats there, and they ended up buying them from Michelle Obama. And then Michelle, I get this thing in the mail. It's a FedEx. This is right before his first inauguration. Okay.
I would think I was going to get audited.
It was so scary. I get this box, and I say, and we're running like crazy to finish because we had to sell a lot of hats. And so a FedEx comes from Washington, and I said, what is this? What is this? I open it up. It was a handwritten note from Michelle Obama thanking me. Now, this is right before the inauguration. She took the time to write a handwritten note to me, and I have one of the 25 pins that were given at that inauguration in the world.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, you dealt with a lot of celebrities over the years, and I think, and this has been my experience, sometimes when you get the person alone, they're nothing like they are in front of the cameras, on the radio, or
Absolutely
on stage.
True.
When you wrote this book, Diary of a Lollipop in a Peanut Factory, which is a great title.
In my sleep. Came to me in my sleep.
Out of all the people that you've met, when you think of, oh, yeah, that was a cool moment, who pops to mind first?
Okay, this is a very strange thing. I became very good friends with Jackie Zeman from General Hospital. She is so dear to me. And I became very good friends with Loida and Bobby Woods from One Life to Live. However, and I have to confess this, oh my God, I am a huge sports nut.
Yes.
Okay.
I think I know what you're going to say. Andy Robustelli?
Yes.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that.
God. I was, first of all, Andy Robustelli played for the Giants.
Right.
And I was a little kid, but huge fan. And then as I got older, you know, obviously he left eventually. And then I'm at the gift show, and and somebody comes, and they're from Connecticut, and they have a store in Connecticut, and they said, oh, we want to buy some of your things. We really love them, because I do very creative, unusual kinds of clothes and things. And so I said, oh, great. They said, well, you have to meet Andy. Now, I have no clue who Andy is. He's the owner, and he runs the shop. I mean, he makes the decisions, right? So at that time, we had our store in the Marriott, and they come to the Marriott, and in walks this giant of a man, handsome as can be, very self-effacing, very quiet, loved my stuff. And they said, oh, this is Andy Robustelli. And I'm like shaking in my boots.
Wow.
So that was very exciting.
That is really a cool story. And you wouldn't think that Andy would be doing that kind of work,
Absolutely
right?
not. No, but he ran an empire after he retired.
Huh, an empire.
An empire.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
Travel, I think he did travel, and then he had stores. I mean, he was an amazing man. Very quiet.
Well, let's rewind a little bit,
Okay.
and we're going to do a little bit of what I call rock bio, where you tell us your story about, it could be growing up, when you started to become an artist, or what made you decide to become an artist, maybe mom or dad buying you some drawing stuff, however that works.
It's an interesting
story.
story.
All right. So tell us a little bit about it.
Okay.
And then we'll move over to more on the book.
Okay.
And then I want to talk.
people to buy the book so
right.
they can support.
Yes. And
Yes.
I also want to talk about, how to rebound from when bad things happen. You and I talked about this off the air. I think it's really important because
I'll tell
everybody
how hard
has.
it is, but you have to do it.
Yes. Okay. So go ahead.
All right. So I grew up, I used to sing. I had a very beautiful singing voice, and my mother did too. And we're kind of a musical family. And so I was always being chosen to sing solos in chorus and stuff like that. But I was very shy and very nervous. I wasn't the kind that, puts themselves out there and says, oh, volunteers, I want to sing. So I'd always be chosen and be nervous. And then in ninth grade, my mother, we ended up enrolling me. I got in to an American Academy of Dramatic Arts, which for the Saturday program.
Whoa.
Yes, I did. I read and I went and I thought, okay, I'll do this, right? And then I realized, remember, I'm the best in my school or in my small area. And now I go to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, not necessarily for singing, but for acting, dancing. I was a very good dancer also. And lo and behold, everyone there was much more anxious to be out there, to be, quote, I call it center stage. And I just said, this is not for me. I can never compete. Even if I'm as good as they are, I don't have it inside me to be putting myself in front of people and being judged.
Well, maybe you weren't created that way.
I wasn't.
Okay, that's fine. I think that part of the life lesson is to have an honest assessment about what you're capable of. And when you start to zone in on something, then you give it your all. Because now you're not wasting any energy of what
Exactly.
might be. Now, this is more like what could be or most likely will happen.
So I realized at that point that even though I loved going to the city and going to the, because I grew up in Syosset, my mom and I would take the train. I'd go to school. She would go shopping. We'd meet for lunch. And then we'd go to a Broadway show.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
it was
funny.
wonderful. It was a great day for me. But it did help me to understand this is not going to be my career. Luckily, I always dabbled my hand. I love to use my hands to make things. And I took some art classes in 7th and 8th grade, and I took to oil painting and painting like a duck to water.
Wow.
And that's when I said, okay, I think this is, and I also write well. So there were these two balances of telling. My art is so important to tell the story. It isn't just putting colors on a picture on a flat board, which is a lot of what art is today, which I don't necessarily think is art. So I fell in love with, obviously, the Impressionists. I love the way they use
So is that
color.
like Matisse?
It's Degas, Van Gogh.
Okay,
Monet,
well, yeah, all right, yeah.
Monet.
Monet,
Matisse
that's what I
is
was
later.
thinking.
I think
Yes.
a little later.
Okay.
And because I love the way they take the colors, and to me, Van Gogh was a genius. Nobody was doing that at the time. And now Picasso was a genius too. I love his earlier.
Yes.
I mean, I love his early works, and I love, eventually, I just think he was great, and I love Cubism. So what I started to do, and I don't know where this came from, because originally I was painting with oils. I won awards in high school. I had early shows in my life. I was very lucky. But I started cutting up fabrics in the late 70s. And I covered an antique shawl. I bought an antique shawl, gorgeous antique shawl, cream, and it had stains on it. And I said, oh, I can either paint over these stains, and no one was painting at that time on the fabrics, for art to wear. It became art to wear. And I said, you know what? I'm going to cover this with a flower. So I would go to these thrift stores and collect gorgeous shawls and cut them up. The flowers were just magnificent, these antique Victorian shawls. And that's how I started my business, by cutting up antique shawls, covering stains. And then I went on to make my own shawls and my own scarves. And it happened. I was teaching at the time. I was an English teacher and an art teacher. And I ended up leaving because I at that time, Bonwit Teller was around, and we got this Christmas order, and it just turned my life around.
So you would say that financially successful as an artist?
Up and down.
Up and down.
Up and down. Okay, here's another problem. I had no clue of how to run a business.
Okay.
I was an artist, and I was a singer. I came from an art background, English, all that. Had no clue what it took to finance a business, have people getting out there selling, having a rep, having a showroom. I didn't know any of that, and there were no courses.
Well, you're just like the rest of us here. Obviously, none of us know how to run a business.
And I'm still not the best business person in the universe, but I like I said, when I started volunteering for the Leukemia Society and I got a shop, that was a change in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've seen the book at all, I was always a very low-key, quiet person, and now all of a sudden I had a shop, and I had to learn how to be out there and meeting people and selling. None of this was, I was never taught any of this, but I could teach it now.
Well, I guess, look, if you didn't have these challenges, business is an art.
Yes, it is.
Okay, there's a whole art to
Yes.
business, and I wish I was able to master it. I'm going to tell you, even with that, there are certain things that you might be very good at.
Right.
And what you learn when you're doing business, stick to what you know. If
Right.
you don't know it, get an expert.
Right.
And just make sure that you have a good relationship with that expert and that you can trust that expert.
Absolutely.
Right? It usually works by referral. Like, this guy, he worked with me, he's okay,
Right.
Some business guys are really good with working with artists. Others will take advantage of the artist.
Hello,
and it's just
I've
like, yes.
been there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm not saying anything that you don't already know.
That I know.
We have your book.
Yes.
And I just want to repeat it. It's Diary of a Lollipop in a Peanut Factory, which when I think of that title, it's almost like Willy Wonka. Well, how did you come up with this?
I don't know. I was sleeping. I told you.
Yeah.
I came
All
up
right.
in my sleep. And I was always told to keep a pad and pencil next to your bed. And if you wake up, write something. And I have done that with my books. I have written.
And this particular copy is autographed
Yes.
by various people, including myself. I think,
Yes.
what did I do?
You
the
signed it.
unexpected.
Yes.
Because when we met it was unexpected, so I go,
Totally. You
that's
signed it in the
totally me.
unexpected, right.
I signed it in the unexpected. And
Yes.
this is one of the items that's going to go up for
Auction. When we
auction.
do our benefits, I put up signed books because I have a lot of people. There are a lot of
Oh,
celebrities
yeah,
in there.
this is great.
And I want them all to sign. I have to tell you, one of the nicest celebrities that I've ever met is, besides the friends that have become and stay in my life, who are celebrities, but Michael Weatherly, who is currently on Bull. We met him. I met him, believe it or not. He was on NCIS, and
Okay.
we went to the studio. Mark Harmon was a doll. I mean, we had a great time.
Okay. I know Mark Harmon. See, the problem with me is I'm not an avid TV kind of person.
Oh, I love TV.
But when I do watch television, it's MeTV,
Uh-huh.
and I'll watch MASH. I love Charlie's Angels.
I love
just get
Charlie's
a kick
Angels.
out of Charlie's
oh my
Angels.
God, yes.
I like Cheryl
Farrah.
Ladd over Farrah.
You like which one?
Cheryl Ladd.
Oh, yes. She was
You know,
adorable.
She's
Mhm.
doing an appearance in
She
New
is?
Jersey, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I follow her on Twitter.
On
But
Twitter,
for some
right.
reason, Cheryl Ladd, she just pretends like I don't exist.
Oh, well,
No,
she's
I'm her
gotta
biggest
learn
fan
you.
here in New York. now.
She's got to learn.
But anyway, and Jacqueline Smith, of course, who
Adorable.
went into fashion.
Yes,
now,
she did.
I don't know how this happened, because I'm a man's man. I'm like a John Wayne kind of guy, right?
Right.
All of a sudden, I become a fashionista because of my daughter
That's right.
and her love for Ugg boots. So I'm like, oh, that's
yes.
interesting. And I mean, amazing
That's what
Ugg
these used
boots,
to be,
right?
yes.
I mean, just amazing.
Uh-huh.
And then I started to watch Absolutely Fabulous, Ab Fab.
Right.
Right,
Fab.
Patsy, right, and went to the actual movie with my wife.
Uh-huh.
And next thing you know, I'm like looking at fashion. I'm thinking, if I could do it all over again, I'd probably be a fashion designer.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
I think I would enjoy that. All right, but
It's very tough.
I don't have that type of, I guess, artistic talent that it takes. Like, I can't draw.
You don't have to draw.
I'm not a good painter. I'm not that kind of artist. It's like we're all designed.
Everybody's different.
Right. So I express myself via the radio. I express
You're
myself
very good
via
verbally. Absolutely.
verbally, yeah.
Yes.
Like there's other things about me. Like I like theology, all right?
I know
And
what
I like high-end mathematics. I like chemistry.
Yes.
I like Latin. I like studying Russian. I like linguistics
So
and
that's
all of those
your
things,
forte.
right? Yeah, and I like going to the Metropolitan Museum of
I do
Art
too.
and just walking around. And every time I go there, I'll find something new, and then I will take some pictures of them. I found this one bust, and it was in the Renaissance area. I don't know who it was, but I took the picture and I went Blue Oyster Cult because
Oh,
it looked
wow.
like Eric Bloom, but I didn't
Uh-huh.
want to insult him. Like, statue, it looks like you. We're friends, but I just like checking that stuff out. I like the colors. I like Peter Max, one of
Oh.
my favorite artists of all time. I really like the fact that Peter Max figured out how to take art and make it into an amazing business. That's cool.
That he did.
I
And
like
told
how-
you the story of Peter Max.
Right.
with me.
I like Andy Warhol and the fact that he was on the Love Boat. So,
Yeah.
let's go back to your book, Diary of a Lollipop in a Peanut Factory,
Right, I was telling
which
you about Michael. Yes.
I have the website. It's decadentpublishing.com.
No. No, because now we are selling it.
I just like that.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah.
Well, they
Well, it's
met me.
Lollipop
They
peanuts.
actually were wonderful because they did help me to write. I mean, to get a book out there because I had been asked many times to write these stories and I didn't do it. And then I met this lovely person and she said, "Do it," and they did it. And this is obviously my first book, but I sell it because I like to have people buy it directly from me, because we autograph it and then we give the money back.
That's fair. And then what is the website to buy the book?
They can buy it through me at janeelissa.com.
Okay,
janeelissa.com. And they go to
janeelissa.com.
store. I think it's under store.
All right, janeelissa.com, which is a really cool
That's me.
website. And then you got this cool little postcard you gave me. I like this a lot.
Well, they can all, I'm going to tell you something else that we're doing. In 2 weeks, we are going to be in Bryant Park. There is a show coming for artisans of New York City.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is really exciting. And we're going to be there 3 weeks, and it starts Mother's Day weekend. And I will have, I'll be there. I'll be selling my art and my clothing, and you know, we do the denim jackets with all the Broadway
Oh, man,
things,
that's cool, yeah.
and we do the hats and everything. And I will also be having people, you know, celebrities come and sign the book, and people can buy it there as well.
Oh, that's awesome. So every item you sell at this
will go,
artisan thing,
percentage always goes to charity.
That's great.
And it can also go to Sing for Hope, which we did a piano for.
Fantastic.
Broadway Cares.
I love Broadway Cares.
Oh, we love Broadway Cares. We've been helping them for a while. And Leukemia Lymphoma Society. And I have a friend who is fighting heart disease, has very bad heart disease.
Okay.
And so I'm going to also start giving some money there.
See, this is good. You're a giver. It's what you are. You give people art. You give your time and your talents. And this is a lesson that we all should learn. You have to give some of your time and some of your talent,
That's
right?
so important. I believe that. And, you know, I was just thinking about the thing that you were talking about when we first started, about coming back from adversity.
Right.
And again, in my book, there's 2 years of my life.
You mentioned that.
Yes.
What's the chapters? Change the venue?
No, well, I think it's with death, something about death, and then change a venue, and then there's a lot of things that happened to me in the middle of this wonderful run of having this great shop at the Marriott Marquis Hotel. There was a lot of loss in my life, and change.
Okay.
And that set me back. And I went through a very, very rough time. And sometimes what you learn coming out of that is you got to fight through it, because it's very, very easy to feel sorry, to feel sad, to be depressed. You lose people. I lost my people. I lost my store. I lost almost everything in my life at that time. And I had to fight really hard to come back. And I'm still fighting hard to come back. What you learn is you got to dig deep, and you got to hold on to the things that are really important to you, the values that you talk about, you know, holding on to the love in your life, the friends that care for you, the things that you love to do and make, the stories you tell, you know, the charity work you do. You hold on to that and hope that eventually your life will go back on track.
I will do this right now, because we've never really done this too much in any of my interviews, where I will say, give us your rock and roll bio, and you get very interesting answers. But if I was to ask you, who are you? Who are you?
That's a very good question. Who am I in terms of how do I see myself as a human being?
I think that you would have to dig deep, as you say. You know, you got to dig deep now.
Who am I?
Who are you?
I'm just a regular person.
Okay.
I'm a regular person who was very lucky to have a little bit of a gift in terms of my art and my ability to tell a story, and who took that and tried to make the world better. I think I told you this. I had such a great time at the Marriott, you know, and I still do my benefit there, and I love them, and I love, you know, that whole area there. But I miss having a shop there. I miss having a shop, period. And I think I've been holding on to that, having that for a long time. And then I went to see the play Smokey Joe's Cafe, and I became friendly with one. We actually wanted to honor one of the stars, actually a lot of the cast, but I became kind of friendly with one of them. His name was Jelani Remy, and he's amazing. He's now in Ain't Too Proud, which is a great show. I'm plugging it. It's wonderful. Anyway, and the show, we found out the show was closing, Smokey Joe's. And I met him after the show, and I said, oh my God, it's closing. It's such a good show. But he goes, on to the next.
On to the next.
On to the next. And I think he just said it like off the cuff, and you have no idea. I told him afterwards how that reverberated in my mind, because I had not gone on to the next. I'm still going now, trying to find on to the next.
Well, I will say this. The world is your studio.
Oh, how nice to say.
Okay? The sidewalk is your studio. The park is your studio.
It's true.
Your house is your studio.
And it is.
And now, you see, without having that studio in one location, it's much like those food trucks. I mean, there's this Polish food truck.
Mm-hmm.
They've been here one time, and I have been trying like hell to find these guys. Now, they're all the way uptown. Great food.
Right.
The point of being is if the world is your studio, the world is going to find you. And they're going to look in different places. And so every person that you meet is another opportunity. So if you're wearing your hat, like you met me, and so I said, wow, that's a great hat.
You did.
And then the first thing you said, I go, well, what do? You go, I'm an artist. Now, to be fair, I'm an artist is part of who you are. I mean,
Yes,
that's
right.
your DNA. You're either an artist or you're not an artist.
It's true.
There are certain things like being a mom, that's who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Being a dad, who you are. There's certain things that function is also part of who you are. So those are all healthy ways of looking at it. Again, if you think that I'm just a banker and that's all you are, then you've
so
closed
much
yourself.
more, right?
Right. So just like your shop, you're so much more than one location that you're assigned to, or
I'm glad
one
you're
location.
saying that, because that also is opening me up. By you saying that, that's making me think about other venues, other avenues,
Venues
other
of
ways.
opportunity,
Yes, venues
right?
of opportunity.
And you have an interesting array of friends
I do.
that always embrace you, that make you welcome, and those are the studios you need. Friends that make you feel welcome and embrace you who you are, and they like your art, they appreciate it. The fact that you're giving all the time is probably the most healthiest thing. Well, that's good. So the world is your studio, and people can go online to buy your book. You're going to be at Bryant Park.
Yes, and they can buy my other things as well. We're making an Etsy site, and there are hats on the Jane Elissa site. You go to a store and it'll click right in, and then we're also building our Hats for Health site.
Hats for Health, and that benefits the leukemia
Everything.
and lymphoma.
Yes.
So with that in mind,
Okay.
until next time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
This has been so much fun and totally unexpected. Thank you.
You know what? That's what it's all about. And it was so much fun. Get the book, Diary of a Lollipop in a Peanut Factory. You're going to love it. You're going to love the pictures.
Yep.
There
You
are
read it very quick.
stuff that, yes.
It's easy read.
Quick read is
Yes.
always fun. And written really well and very well punctuated, I might say.
Thank you.
So
Well,
if you're-
that's my job.
If you're a grammarian, this book is for you. And then, of course, enjoy the hats and all the other artwork that they have at your
Yes.
website, which you give us one more time.
JaneElissa.com.
JaneElissa.com.
And look for us coming to Etsy, and also HatsForHealth.com.
JaneElissa.com.
It's coming.